What's up, guys? So, Motorsports Games is about to drop their first developer diary today in about 10 minutes, according to this. And this is the first time I'm actually going to try to do, a reaction in real time. Now, it's not going to be live for you. By the time you see it, it's going to be, not live. But it'll be the first time that I'm actually uh, reacting to something as it happens live for me. So this won't be something where I've really had a chance to listen and watch and give you a well thought out reaction, which sounds better to be honest. But I'm just curious to see this thing and how this works out. And while we're waiting for that, I do want to talk about something I didn't get a chance to talk about earlier, and it's about the Forbes article that came out after right along with the trailer, and they talked about a couple of things that I didn't get a chance to talk about, but it's things that are really interesting. First, they reiterated that they want to release the next game earlier in the development cycle. So they talked about earlier in 2022, they're already working on the next game and have been. I don't know since when, but um, man, they are really moving along. So I am happy that we won't have to wait as long for the second game, but I am concerned that does that mean that there's a shorter development cycle, and that's going to affect how much better can the second game be over the first? How much can they actually get done? How much can they add to the game? We don't want to see, a cut and paste rehash with a couple of baby step improvements. We're expecting a little more. I don't think the community is going to take well to that level of development. But they've already started work on the next game, so it's not like, oh my, we're not going to start work on the next game till after we release the first. They've already been working on the next game. So I think what's happening is whatever they have on in their blueprints, like thing on what they want to do with this series and where they want to go, whatever they couldn't get done with the first game, they're just moving right along into the next game. And a lot of the things that probably didn't make it for the first game, they're probably trying to make sure it gets in for the second game. So I'm just curious about that. How much are they actually going to be able to do? We also know that they told us that the next gen version of the first game, this NASCAR 21 Ignition, is going to come out, sometime after release. So that also means they must be working on it. So between trying to finish off this first game, polish and testing and whatever they're doing, also making sure the next gen consoles get their own version, and already started work on the second game, which is something they want to release earlier. They talked about they want to see what a June or July type of, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they were talking about they want to see how the market responds to that kind of release, that they're curious or whatever. So I don't know about a firm release date, but it sounds to me like they want to do something for the second game, like release it sometime early summer, and then probably by the third game move that up ahead. The one thing that really concerns me about that is it's a shorter development cycle. Like right now, this game's coming out in October, and that means what's it gonna be? Like 9 months, like three quarters of a year into the next one. We already know that a year is not a lot of time, especially for these yearly sports game releases. They all turn there. That this is why you always see cut and paste with baby step improvements, right? And so trying to dial back the clock like that, It just gives you less time to work on stuff. That's a big concern to me. On the positive side, if you want to look at this from a positive point of view, which I'm also looking at it that way as well. These guys have a lot more money and resources. They've hired a lot more people. They should be able to do more in a shorter time span. So it's not like 704 is doing this, a small developer with very little resources, and they're already, shaving down the development time. So I'm not going to say it can't be done, but I am curious. It is a big concern to me, and I do expect them to talk about this down the line. But that's a concern for me. In a perfect world, I would have liked to see the first game, this one, pushed to the start of 2022 with the season. And to me, not only does that put them in perfect uh, release date, a release date plan, which is what their ultimate goal is, but it gives them more time on the first game. And then you could do your yearly thing after that and not have to worry about shifting the game to an earlier and earlier release date. But the only people who know what's really going on is Motorsport Games. I have to assume that they know what they're doing. And I don't want to assume that they're making a big mistake when I'm pretty happy with all the decisions they've made so far. Even the marketing so far, I'm pretty good with it. This marketing is not bad. People got upset about how long they were taking to show a release date and a trailer, and almost, within a week they did it. And it wasn't a response to the community because this was all pre-planned. So this is the way they had this planned all along, and I just think people panicked a little bit. And from the start, I have to say, I don't have a big problem with the marketing so far, right? That can change anytime. It might change in the next 5 minutes. I don't know. But so far, they've been making good decisions, and I don't want to start like worrying about things when they haven't really built up a history of being, good or bad. So I like what I see so far, and I have to assume they kind of know what they're doing. So if they're already working on the next game, they're going to try to push it earlier. I'm still going to be concerned about it, and I'm still going to wonder how much can they actually do and how much can they actually add. And like I said, if it turns out that it's going to be another thing where it's just like the first game, but they added a couple of little baby, you know, changes here and there, yeah, I'm not sure that's enough. These guys are really need to push. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're, this is going to be about the cars. Hopefully they talk about the physics and maybe the AI. That would make me really happy. I really want to know about that. If it's just a thing about graphics and how the cars look, and I hope it's more than that. But it is. This is their first official developer diary, and it says premieres in 60 seconds. It'll probably be like a small delay. I've never seen something that starts right away when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's the first new game, so yeah, that's always going to be exciting because we still don't really know what this game is going to be all about. It's not like if this was NASCAR Heat 6, we kind of know what it was going to be, and we would just be hoping that they were able to add a lot and improve things. But this is like brand new IP, so yeah, let's see what this is all about. I'm not I don't I'm not going to talk a lot. I don't know if I say something, it's going to be something that I feel like I got to say something because I'm watching this live. I want to kind of soak it in. So, yep. Let's see. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about that. I was gonna do a video about it, but I said I'll wait till we get more information and then I could talk about it before that. Yeah, so they're planning to release the second game, which they're already working on earlier in the development cycle and they said earlier in 2022. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about that because I'm not sure. That's usually a recipe for disaster. Oh, here we go. Let's see, back to the big thing. Man, this laptop is so slow. Okay. What the hell is this? This is what I said. I've never seen one of these. Okay, they got a countdown. This is like hypnotic. I only knew about this because I went on Twitter. That's something else I want to talk about down the line about the having some kind of community, uh, like a forum or something.
It's what we came to do. It's what we came to
Oh
do.
my God, is this gonna be copyrighted? I hope not. Ooh.
Hi there and welcome to a behind the scenes look of NASCAR 21 Ignition. This will be a 3-episode series giving you the fans a sneak peek at the process of building this game from the ground up. Here at Motorsport Games, we want to create the most authentic racing experiences for our players to enjoy. Our teams across the globe are always striving to make in-game cars drive as realistic as possible, and in NASCAR 21 Ignition, we are making that a reality. Moving to the Unreal Engine gave both the development and art teams the power to create better games, making it the best fit for motorsport games going forward. Today, we're going to take a look at the cars in NASCAR 21 Ignition and how the developers took the real-life vehicles you see on the track and converted them into a digital form. While previous NASCAR games shared DNA with the likes of NASCAR Thunder titles from back in the mid-2000s, we know the fans have wanted the most realist experience possible, so NASCAR 21 Ignition was built from the ground up to make it feel fresh and authentic, representing the real-life sport in a video game in the most faithful way. And we made it feel real, the way the cars accelerate and brake, running tight or loose, and how the dynamics of the car feel different when running up front or going 3 wide in the mid-pack at each track. However, this process of making things feel right wasn't always easy, as real-life NASCAR teams don't make all their setup information public. They have their secrets on how they make their cars the fastest on the grid, and each one is hand-built. So we worked directly with NASCAR to gather detailed aero, drivetrain, suspension, and setup information to make NASCAR 21 Ignition the most authentic driving experience in the market. As a player, you'll experience the different aero packages on the car depending on which track you're at, so you'll see and
Nice.
feel a difference between your cars on the mile and a halfs, short tracks, and even treaded tires on the dirt at Bristol. We built this game with ultimate realism in mind.
Look at that.
For many players, that's an exciting prospect, but we don't want to push those away who want an experience that's as simple as picking up a controller and burning rubber. NASCAR 21 Ignition introduces an assist mode called Novice, which lets you play with a single button, almost like slot car racing, and the game takes care of the rest. If you played NASCAR Heat 5, it's like the rookie mode, and with full control over what driving assist you have switched on, if
we're
you're
watching
brand new to
gameplay
racing and
footage.
want a helping hand, or you're a veteran that's ready to dive into the deep end, NASCAR 21 Ignition will be ready and waiting for you. That's it for this episode. Be sure to keep an eye out for our next, where we'll talk about all the detail and process of getting all the tracks in the game. See you next time.
Clear. Stay right. Keep it high.
Okay.
All clear.
All right. So It's short. I didn't expect it to be too long anyway, but I thought that was exciting. They talked about physics. That's what I wanted to hear about. They didn't really talk about the AI. But I saw some really good stuff. So I want to hold on a second. Let me. Oh, come on. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. So I'm gonna take the sound down. I want to go through some of the stuff and just tell you my thoughts on it. First of all, overall, I'm impressed with what they showed. I like a lot of what I saw. Um, let's just we'll go through it step by step. So you got this view, which all right. We're gonna have to slow this down. All right, that's a great view. I think we saw that before. All right, this is all from the trailer. So I'm gonna let this go through because we actually saw some gameplay footage, and I like it. Maybe I should have left the sound on. I don't want to miss anything important. I think it's better to let it go slow. Plus, it's not that long of a video. Okay, so here we go. I'm excited. And here we look at Sonoma. Yeah, Save Mart. That's the Sonoma. You see the cars driving by? The track looks good. And I do think the game's going to look even better when you're actually playing it. And it's a direct feed from the console or your PC. Uh, when they show clips of something, it never looks the same as exactly what you're looking at. These were this well, I don't know if this is ray tracing or anything. I doubt it. But you could see reflections there off the glass. It's not perfect. It looks like something that was just pre-rendered, but it's cool to see that kind of detail. So it's just a shot of the car on the track. One thing that I am starting to it's starting to bother me a little bit. They're just doing too much with the lighting. I think that it makes the car look a little bit artificial with having the sun glare off of it, and it's just there's something here about the sheen on the car. It kind of takes away from I think it could look even better. And I really do think this is an artistic choice they're making, purposely showing you these angles where the sun is shining off the car. And I think they think that it makes it look better. I don't know if it does. I think that some of the shots of the cars, they have this kind of matte sheen. It just makes it like look like something that's not part of the overall picture. I'm not being nitpicky or anything. It's just something that's kind of bugging me a little bit. I still think the game looks great. It's just I think when you play the game, this isn't gonna be a thing. See, in this shot, this is a lot better. This is more towards I guess sunset or something, and the car looks a lot more in tune with everything around it. So that's good that you could see the contrast. The very next shot, you get this. It looks better. Here is something else. I really want to know if we're going to be able to alter the field of view. I'm not 100% sure about this, view. Like, I'm hoping we could kind of play with it a little bit. But then again, until you actually play, I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I'm pretty sure you. I mean, I hope you can remove the steering wheel and the hands at least as an option. Here's something else. Now you got all this other stuff going on in the background. Uh, I would just rather see what you see in the center. Now this is at Homestead. Again, I really like how things look, the detail, and as you could see on the screen here, there's a live video. Well, not live. It looks animated, which I'm happy about. I don't want to see live anything in this game. No live action anything. Everything should be animated just like the game. It does look like some generic loop that's playing. And if you're in the game and racing and stuff like that, it's cool just to see a moving image on a screen. It doesn't have to be something that, oh my God, look, they're actually playing something that you can follow. That's not really necessary. This is more than enough for detail. And I like it. Looks good. Well, actually, it does look like live action. Again, maybe that's not going to matter. And you could see Denny Hamlin getting shoved because nobody's afraid of Denny Hamlin. No balls Hamlin. Look at it, he's getting shoved. Ah, get away from me. You couldn't stand up to Chase Briscoe. That's what happens, man. You got to punch a guy once in a while. And this is, I think, when they start talking about physics. And they start talking about the car and the design and the scanning. Here we go, another shot. I hate this. This is just all sun glare, and it's an ugly shot. Again, this has nothing to do with. I think at that point they were talking about from scanning to in-game, but yeah, this does not look good. I'm not worried about it. It's just something they're choosing to show you, and it looks bad. It's nothing to worry about. It's just you gotta stop with the over saturated light. Look at it. It's just the glare of the sun is just blinding everything. And it just takes away from everything. It's a good looking game. I've seen other fucking angles, other shots. Don't why are you doing this? They're just like it's like they have a fetish with this fucking sun glare. That looks pretty good. And see, you can show sun glare and this looks good because it looks more realistic. They are running a more natural line, which is a good sign. They didn't talk about AI, which I was hoping for, but I didn't see anything wonky about the AI from what little we saw. But they talked a lot about physics. That's not a bad shot. This isn't too bad. I like this. But again, they got to show that sun glare. They can't give you an angle where it's just a more natural view without the sun in your face. And look, I guess they're showing you the level of detail of. I mean, does this mean there's going to be a more realistic tire model? I hope so. They haven't really talked about tire wear or any of that stuff, but I have faith that they put some work into that. This is another cool shot. I mean, I wouldn't want to drive from this angle. I think this is maybe a replay angle, but I like the movement of the car. Look, and they're talking about, okay, adjust your settings, tight, stable, loose. So they're going to have a slider. And I'm sure they're going to have it where you can go in and get into deeper details, which I don't think they showed us. I want to focus on what we're looking at before I say anything else. The car will feel balanced, neither front nor. Okay, so this is very similar to what some of the stuff we saw in 704. I'm sure they'll do a better job with it, but this is really, really good for people that, don't know a lot about setups and just want to make, simple adjustments. Uh, this is not bad. Like for a first game, this is, you got lap data, so you could go check your lap data overview. There's options, and this is at Homestead, and it shows you, yeah, the push that looked like push condition. Another cool view. I think maybe they're gonna have multiple camera angles. That looks good. I mean, I don't know if I want to drive in this view, but I like. Here's something about. I don't know where this is. Is this? It looks like New Hampshire. I might be wrong, but the AI is following a more realistic line here. Doesn't look bad. And when we saw it in real time, yeah. See, you could. It looks like some. I don't know. It's yeah. Look, the cars are kind of moving around. They don't look like they're on a rail. So that's you know, uh, I'm still kind of worried about the AI, and I want to know more. But this looks better than what we saw in the trailer. And at this point, they were talking about the setups and how the real teams have secrets on how they make their cars faster. That I guess they don't want to reveal, but and here's another shot. I guess this is Homestead, and the cars are running a much better, more realistic line. This guy's up against the wall. This guy's slightly lower. This looks more of like what we should be seeing. And let me show you one more time. What I like about this is it's not like there's just, one lane on the outside and one on the inside, like two tracks. They actually, you could see, look at this. This guy's all the way up. This guy's slightly half a car length down. This guy's another half car in. So it's not like just two tracks. I want to see more of stuff like this where they're kind of all over. And this looks like early. I think maybe later in the run, the cars spread out and it gets even better. I'm really hoping for that. But this looks way better than what we saw in the trailer. I feel better with this. Yeah, they focused more on talking about physics. They didn't get into super detail, but I'm pleased with what they showed us today. There's a lot of stuff to like about it. And yeah, they're showing off, motorsport, traction, and it looks good. I like the level of detail. Look at the shadows. This is not a bad shot. See, this is how you could show some sun glare, but it doesn't like ruin the whole shot. This is much better. And I like the detail of the fence and the shadows. That stuff is really difficult to do. And this shows the power of, the better graphics and all that stuff. Whereas with like NASCAR Heat, you get more jagged edges, especially with the really fine detail of the fencing. The shadows are really good. I'm impressed. I am really curious to see other people's reaction. Here's something else I like. If you notice in the background, I'm going to show you right now. Look at up here. What focus on like on the other side of the fence. You see the shimmering of the sunlight as the camera's panning? I fucking love details like that. That to me, I love details, man. When you see little things like that, it adds to the overall feel of what you're looking at. Everything should have detail, and it's not just about, oh, make the car look good and just whatever, the track surface. Don't worry about the background. I love that detail. Yeah, it looks good. The shadows look great. You could see more of that if you look at around here. You'll see more of that sun shimmer. Yeah, and this it looks great, man. I like that. I like that detail. And I think they don't really show much more. This is at where is this? It's one of the road courses. I'm not really super into the road courses, so I can't tell you which one this is. This might be I don't know, this Ohio or whatever other one they run at. Here's something else, and this is live gameplay. So this looks good. You got, I guess, your shift, your what gear you're in, mile per hour, RPM. I like that. And then up here, you got your current lap, last lap, best lap, and oh my God, something I have not talked about. I hope that there is a really good spotter in the game, or crew chief. Like the audio needs. We don't know anything about the audio, and I really want to hear my spotter talking about my lap times or my crew chief. And you can see the car. It's really hard to really judge physics, but you can see the tail kind of swing out slightly as compared to the nose. That looks good. It's not like static. It's just like the tail kind of, it's very slight, but if you pay attention, you can see the back of the car bouncing a little bit and kind of sort of like the tire physics are like, I like that. This looks good too. I love how the sun inside the on top of the dash. I don't know, man. It just really adds a lot to the feel of what you're looking at. This looks good. I want to see more gameplay though with against AI. And here's another shot. Look at that. Was that Harvick? No, that's STP. All right, that's the 43. That was cool. Look at how he bounced. I know the people have talked about the curb. Look at that. And the way the car reacts is realistic. Look at that. That looks good. I love that. That's impressive. It behaved like you would expect a real car to behave as it hit the curb. It's little details like that. Look at that. And it kind of slid even after it bounced off. I like it. And the AI kind of, it ran better lines there. So I'm hoping that the trailer was just showing like really early development stuff. Yeah, look at this. Another good looking shot. Me Reiki. I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, just the first developer diary. I want to see more. I want to hear about the AI. Uh, that to me is what's going to make or break this game. The physics, as you know, look at this. Yeah, look, and the AI here is running the type of lines I would expect. I want them to show like after 20, 30 laps when the cars spread out. That's when I think you'll get a better idea of the AI because Oh, come on. All right, hold on. Yeah, if you look at this, it's like off a restart or something. Every time they show this stuff, the cars are all together. I want to see like late in the run when the field spreads out how how it looks. But look at that, he kind of bounced off the wall. Good job. I continue to approve of the marketing. This is a good way to market. The game's not that far away. The timing of everything is good. I know people are impatient, but I'm really I'm really uh, happy with what I saw today. There's still more questions, but yeah, I got more out of this video than I think we got from the trailer. The trailer, it showed a little more presentation stuff, and I was happy with that. And the tablet and watching the guys push the car out of the pit, the garage area. That to me is what excited me most about the trailer. This got me more excited about the physics. And even though they didn't talk about AI, I am I feel a little better about what I'm seeing here. Again, they have to talk to us in detail about it and show us more footage. As I said, with the field spread out. But what little we saw, I feel much better about what I saw with the AI today than with the trailer. So, I can't wait to see more information. They said they're going to have two more developer diaries, and maybe they'll talk about presentation and probably online. I would imagine. Uh, but yeah, somewhere along the way, they got to show us more gameplay footage and actually, you know, show us. That's the core of the game. And I will say I saw things to be excited about here, the physics wise. And so they did a great job with this. I'm happy with it. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Um, yeah, I look forward to your comments later.